Welcome in to our holiday edition of In the Bonus. We are so excited to be joined with Providence Friars head coach Erin Batth. The Friars 7-7 on the season, just opened up conference play this past weekend against Seton Hall. And Coach Bath, thank you so much for hopping on the pod this week during a holiday week. We're so excited to chat a little bit today.
No, thank you. I don't have on my Christmas hat, but I tell you what, this is no better time. So thank you. I'd love to be here.
Of course. I know this past weekend you and your team did take on Seton Hall. You fell to the Pirates in South Orange, but as we are starting and kicking up conference play for you another year in the conference now, what excites you the most about just all full-on Big East play?
Wow. Well, first of all, the conference in itself, all the teams, the head coaches, assistant coaches, everyone that's in this Big East conference is awesome. So I love seeing them. I love Tony Brazella. I mean, he was great. Got me a little Christmas gift. Love him. And
Aw.
it's just like a big family. So I'm excited. Last year, obviously, me, I know he's great. Last year being my obviously first year. And then now I just feel like even more at home. So I'm excited. It's good to see everybody again. I feel like we know each other now. And so I'm excited about that. Really, the relationship piece is big, but the basketball is gritty. I mean, every night again, you cannot fall asleep, you cannot relax. And so I love that. And I want that for our team. So we're just growing every day.
I love that you mentioned it feels more so like home this season. How unique is that, honestly, to the Big East, where you can say that a conference, right, and all of the camaraderie, the competition feels like home.
Well, it's very unique. I've definitely been in a few different programs, work with different programs over the past 18, 19 years, and they've been wonderful too. But it's really different when like the head coach of the other team has a Christmas gift and I'm getting
Right?
text
Like, come
messages.
on.
And I mean, like, hello, and we're all praying for Coach Bruno. I love him. He's great. He's doing well. And just hearing from Val Ackerman and getting a text message from her and just in a big group message with all the head coaches. Like, I don't even know if that happened. So that was really cool. And we all responded with good prayers and good wishes toward for him. And so it's just different. I love that. It fits me perfectly because I'm just a relationship geek anyway. So it's really cool.
Speaking of relationships, you and your players, Coach, you talk to any of your players, and when you even go to mention your name to them, they light up. They are so excited to talk about you. And yes, we've talked in length, Coach, where you're like, okay, but you know what? When it's push come to shove, I'm gonna be coaching the players the way that they need to. However, they feel so loved and honestly, to use your words, at home playing for you. How important is that's the culture? That is everything. That's the first kind of sentence that comes out of your players' mouths is we feel that relationship that you strive so hard to work on with them. It's there. It's like a non-negotiable. They feel that right from the jump.
Oh yeah, well that's number one. And I got to give a lot of credit to my staff too for helping me create this atmosphere, this environment for these women. But these days, everything is so transactional with recruiting, with just everything, and it's not terrible. As I love that these student athletes are getting things and being rewarded, but so much of it is what can you do for me? What do you need now? So I really love that we can go old school and just I can get on them and love them. They light up or they're scared, honey. They fooled you or whatever. But no, it's everything. It's the foundation of what we do. Especially when you're just again, I'm new, so it's just how can I coach anybody hard or ask them to do whatever for me if they don't believe that I care. Like that's just not happening. So even though a lot of things in this world are transactional, when you come down, when push comes to shove, like you said, it's got to be that I care, and I do probably too much. So, but I love them, and we're getting it done.
Mm. Who was, when you think of all of your coaches in the past, who was the coach? We'll hit this one first. Who was the coach who coached you the hardest?
Ooh, I would say Kathy Walton. She was my AAU coach. She actually played at UNC. I was at Georgia Metro, and she was really, really tough. And I mean, I stormed out, but I got to give her credit. I used to coach, but I have to talk about Coach Jim Davis because
Yes.
he's my coach at Clemson. And honey, talking about old school, and I was a wild thing. So he really put it to me right. And I love him. We still talk, and he's like a dad. And so that's the foundation of how I coach because of what those two people did for me, which is huge.
Did you ever kind of imagine that while you were a player of the relationships that you were building with your then coach, that you would then fast forward, be able to call him on the phone and be like, hey, guess what? I'm doing exactly what you were doing, and now I need some advice and some insight in a different way than you might have before.
Well, not really, because I got on his nerve when I was a college student. So I mean, we all call him. It's not just me. It's a lot of our players. A lot of my sisters still call on him. And no, so I'm not really. There's no surprise. Nothing. No, I knew it. I had a feeling, even through my years at Clemson, that I was always gonna have him. He always said that too. So he was true to his word, and that's how I've been trying to be for sure. And I think the women I coach know that.
I love that so much. Coach, it's a holiday week, so you're traveling. We're thankful that you are hopping on the pod for us today and talking to us in the midst of traveling here. I'm curious, anything that really around the holidays is a tradition you might have, a newer tradition that you're really looking forward to celebrating?
Well, definitely going to church. We'll do that. Obviously, give praise to my Lord and Savior. But I make cookies and they ugly, honey, but they good. So sugar
What kind of
cookies,
cookies?
honey, sugar cookies, and they look awful. They don't ever come out looking right, but they taste really good and they last through the new year. So we'll be doing that. Cooking. I am having Ugne, and her brother actually plays in a school in North Carolina. I think it's Winthrop, coming to visit the house. So they're from Lithuania. So I
Oh.
actually talked to Ugne's dad this morning and said, I got your babies. Like, we'll send you pictures. So I'm excited to have them over, and Coach Val will come over. It's just great. We'll be at the house, but I did get a chance to see my mom, which is huge. And now we're seeing Eric's mom here in Clemson, South Carolina. So just big blessings. And the last thing I will say, really like to give back. So we always try to find like a shelter or something that we can give back to. And sometimes it's a little bit harder now to give back. You got to sign up and you got to
Yeah.
volunteer. You got to do all those things. I wish it was a lot easier, but that's something that we'll be doing too. But we get after it on the 26th, y'all. We're gonna practice. So I'm gonna bring them sugar cookies to practice. So,
Right,
but
right back to work. Listen, they'll get some carb loaded, all that good sugar, and they'll be ready to have a good practice.
yes, ma'am.
Coach, you mentioned um, a little bit of going to church, right, and blessings and everything. And anyone who has talked to you can feel your faith through conversations. We've had a couple of conversations as well. And I'm curious, as a woman of faith as well, how have you seen your relationship with God, right, go from each stage of life that you're in to now where you're at in life with the responsibilities that also come as being a coach with that. How have you seen your relationship with God grow and change, and how that has really nurtured you to be the woman and the coach that you are today?
Oh yes. Well, it's been a process. Like you're supposed to wrestle with God. So I have had my ups and downs like everybody does, and I am definitely not perfect. I can quote some scripture, but not a lot, but I know that He's in my life and He's watching me, and I know that that is a foundation of why I do what I do. And some things that I just actually do is just from him. People are always like, "Oh, thank you." I was like, "It's not me, honey. It is not me." Oh, no, no. Coach Erin is a hot mess. No, no, it is from him. And so, my journey has definitely had its ups and downs, but it's definitely a foundation. It's steadfast. I always go back, and I try to just be a light. A bright one if I could be, but also I really lean on my staff. It's not just me and my mom, my grandmother who's passed. So it's just kind of way I've been raised, but definitely not. I want to make sure I'm clear. Definitely not perfect, and I think my faith has helped me stay a little more focused, and know that there's always a better day, and God's always there for me. So I don't know, my journey again through my life with my daughter and everything. There's ups and downs, and turned away, come back. But I can't tell you, I would not be here like having this opportunity if it wasn't for him to say, "Okay, girl, it's your time."
Mm,
So just really grateful for that. And I hope I answered your question. It's such a great question.
yeah.
But yeah, and I love that you asked. So thank you.
And I'm not the only one, coach, who I'm sure to say you are a light for myself and so many others. You shine so, so bright, coach.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Coach Bath, thank you so much for joining us on the pod. We are so pumped to have had you as our guest, episode number 2. I hope you and your family have the most blessed holidays and enjoy for you some time off. Just relax a little bit as well because
Thank
the
you.
26th, you're getting right back to it. Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.